sleigh, but the joy and all that jazz. And look, we are live. We are
Oh,
officially
all
live.
right. It's
Okay,
showtime, right?
it is showtime. Well, first of all, Director Gates, I just have to say I am so honored and thankful that you've taken the time to be with us today. Everyone, as you all may know when you're tuning in and watching this in the world, I'm no longer with the Afro anymore. And so I am really, really sad to be going. However, Director Angie Gates, as I told her offline, is really, truly one of my inspirations and sheroes. And she has just really elevated the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment here in Washington, D.C., and has been a media and really just boss guru for a number of years. And so I first just want to thank you for being with us today.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you. And as I mentioned to you earlier, you will truly be missed, but this is not the end for us. I'm very proud of you, and you've accomplished so much with the Afro. I often say, and coming from the South, you're just good people. That's number one. You're just straight up good people. But I've witnessed your hard work over the years, and I'm delighted to be sitting in this seat, and it is truly an honor and privilege to be one of your final interviews. But you and I'll have more to talk about just as you move forward through your career. But on behalf of the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment, I want to sincerely say thank you for everything that you've done for us and with us on your journey with the Afro.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. And so, we were talking earlier about how much has happened since our last official Afro catch up. And
Mm.
so we should really start by how are you doing? How are you faring in this war post pandemic world we're living in? And how is the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment faring as well?
Well, thank you for that question. Thank you just for simply asking how I'm doing. I think so often we are about the business of business, and quite often we don't just check on each other. I'm happy to say that I am doing well. I'm very thankful. I'm very blessed. I feel that I'm very highly favored and I'm in a good place. Every day that I can wake up and talk to my mom, who is 80 years young, is a true blessing. So for that, I feel really good about. It's been challenges with anything. The pandemic provided me with an opportunity to just sit still and slow down and just take a moment to think and recenter and just focus on the things that were important that I just may have taken for granted. Just the ability to breathe, like things like we take that for granted and we shouldn't. The
Yeah.
ability to be able to have a roof over my head in this process. Thanks to Mayor Bowser, I'm employed. I have a job. Uh, so many people were unable to say the same, and to be able to give back and help people along the way. I had some deja vu moments along the way in this process, having gone through Hurricane Katrina.
Mhm.
So many things became familiar in this process. And I can remember one day in particularly, I was just like, what is wrong with me today? It was like I was going through the actions and the motions of the work and in my standard hustle and grind, but I felt melancholy and kind of sad. And I couldn't figure out what was the touch point. And someone called and started talking about their mortgage being in default.
Mm.
And it was like deja vu. The same thing that they were talking to me about was the same thing that I had experienced going through Hurricane
Mhm.
Katrina. And so, what was one of the worst times in my life going through that process, interesting enough, prepared me for this pandemic and this time in my life. And it gave me an opportunity to be able to be more of a sounding board and to really understand the various emotions and the mental stress and the physical stress that this process could put on you. But I am better. stronger, more resilient than ever, because I'm surrounded by good people here at the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment. And we had to make some adjustments and changing. Health and safety was the first priority. So probably 75% of our team worked remotely, but we also had a due diligence as the number one media source for the government to put out media alerts, maintain daily press conferences. We probably did over 200 plus mayoral press conferences and events over a 200-day plus period.
Yeah.
And for that, it didn't change. As a matter of fact, it was an uptick, of doing more and being very resourceful for letting people know where you could get your testing done, where vaccinations could take place, how to remain safe in the process. And so these are all measures that we continue to take and sustain in the process.
Yet I have to say one word that just is giving me all the chills is that you used was resilient, because the resiliency has been so clear, I think, for many people, many Washingtonians in particular. But for you to have experienced all you have and to bring that into your work, I've seen the strength of OCTFME, and I've seen you all as you said, the number one resource for all of the information that's really being given to us in the media. And so, your resiliency is so clear, but we thank you for that strength, and we thank you for the push. And again, it's just so great to hear that you all are still thriving and doing. I got to do a quick drive by and see some of the offices a few weeks ago, and it was so great to be back in the building, in the studio. So just kudos to you and your entire team.
Thank you for that. We're not going anywhere. I would often tell the team, I didn't let water take me out with Hurricane Katrina. I'm not going to allow this pandemic to do it. So what doesn't kill you definitely make you stronger. And we're stronger together. So we just had to step in and be here for each other. And each other means being here for the residents of the District of Columbia, being here for each other as a family here at OCTFME, and just pulling together to do what was necessary to continue to move forward. Because giving up was definitely not an option.
Absolutely. I know that.
Definitely not an option. No.
I know that's right.
No.
So, in the major pivots that you all had over the past 2 years, you all have still been doing a lot of great work, as you said. And I actually got to participate in a little bit of some of the things that you all were doing virtually over the past 2 years. But what I missed so much was the live Emancipation Day concert. Oh my gosh, I love all of the festivities surrounding Emancipation Day. And it's really, as a native Washingtonian, that's like my holiday, my favorite holiday. And so I first want, since Emancipation Day is coming up, I first want you to remind our audience about the day, why it's so incredibly important to DC history, but also tell us a little bit about how you all are coming back in 2022 with the celebrations.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. We are excited. I mean, DC is open. I had an opportunity to sit on the co-chair committee for faith, arts, culture, entertainment, sports, and hotels. And now all of those things are open and striving. We want everyone to come out for Emancipation Day. Now, historically, Emancipation Day is April 16th, and in 1862, that's when President Lincoln signed the Emancipation. Now, what's unique about Emancipation Day here in Washington, D.C., 3,000 slaves were freed about 6 to 8 months before slavery took place across the country. So Emancipation Day is a holiday here in Washington, D.C. But more importantly, this is where it all began, with the first slaves being free. And that is something that really is a cornerstone and the foundation for here in Washington. So we encourage everybody to celebrate with us. Even the IRS has honored that holiday and made adjustments in taxes being due from time to time. But we never can lose sight for the true meaning of emancipation. This year, for 2022, we actually are celebrating on Saturday, April 16th. In years prior, it may have been the weekend before, but this year is special because we actually will be celebrating it on the 16th. We have a parade that's going to be kicking off at 2 o'clock, starting at 10th Street, Pennsylvania Northwest. That parade goes down Pennsylvania and ends at Freedom Plaza, where we will have our traditional concert. And you know we're going to get it in. The concert starts at 3 o'clock. One added bonus this year is we have a DC statehood food truck palooza. So we have food trucks coming out to celebrate food and the culinary arts here in Washington, D.C. But what is a festive event without fireworks? So at 8:30, we're going to close out the event with fireworks. So we want everyone to come down and celebrate. And it's a family fun event. We have something to offer everyone, and we're really excited. You can take the metro, there's places to park, but more importantly, it is free. It is free, fun, and entertainment. So we would love for everyone to come and join us.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited. I cannot wait until the 16th. I will be out there with my bells on and in the parade and jamming to the music and eating the DC statehood palooza food.
Great.
I am so excited. So
Great.
should people know to be, aware of anything, whether it's should they mask up? Do they need to have vaccinations? What are those kinds of things in this world? I know some folks out there are wondering.
Well, the good news is that we're outside,
Exactly.
and safety is always a key priority. But we want people to do what makes them feel comfortable. So masks are not required. But we do definitely encourage anyone that is feeling ill or have any type of symptoms to not join us, but look at it remotely, because if you're not able to be there on site, we are going to be streaming it live from DCN channel 16. But making sure we keep some of the same practices that we have before, like with washing your hands, but keeping the distance. It's whatever makes you feel comfortable, but the mask are not required as in the past. We are truly at a place at this moment in time where we want people to come out, enjoy, and especially being outside, we will be in a safe, fun environment.
I cannot wait. I think that is what the world has been looking forward to doing. And so can you share any of the performers, or do we have to wait until?
Well, we're going to keep you guessing and going to have a little surprises along the way. But I will give one sneak peek. DC is the home of go-go. Go-go is the official music here in Washington, D.C. So shout out to Mayor Bowser and the City Council for having go-go be the official music of Washington, D.C. So the Junkyard Band going to bring it home for Emancipation Day. So that'll be a sneak peek that we give you. But if you visit dcemancipationday.com, that will give you an opportunity to see the artists as we add them to the roster. You will not be disappointed, and we'll do like we've always done in past years, and that will be bringing in a national artist, but it's really our homegrown local artists that we want to continue to support and elevate and have on that stage. But it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
It's always a great time. Y'all, I tell you, I've seen amazing national artists, and then national artists were still key to DC and our history in our area, like Maya. Oh
Absolutely.
my gosh, I'm like, this is Maya right in front of
Exactly.
me.
And that's the
Um,
key with our national artists is some type of connection here to Washington, D.C. Either it's a musical connection, they're from here, they went to school here. There's some type of tie because we think it's important that our culture don't remain within these 8 wards. It's important that we continue to push out, but bring our natives back home and bring the culture back home as well whenever there's an opportunity to combine our national folk and artists and musicians with our local creatives.
Absolutely. I have a friend also in media who calls uh, DC artists and DC culture outside of DC the DC diaspora because you can go
Oh,
to.
okay. I like that.
I love it. It's a
I may have
thing.
to use that. Now
Oh,
that
it's a
I
thing.
like that.
I've like been out of the country and somebody's been like, "You from DC?" and it's just on and popping.
Right, right. I like that. I often refer to DC as the capital of creativity. So people don't have to move and live and go to other places to work in the creative industry. You can live, work, and play right here in DC, right here in the district. We have a lot to offer.
So much. And so, with that said, I do want to pivot a little bit to some of the other initiatives that OCTFME has. I know y'all are not stopping at Emancipation Day. I was just at which I should super plug and say, I was just at the Hooray Media launch at the Gathering Spot that was hosted by the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment. And it was fabulous. It was absolutely wonderful. And just to see the Black girl magic that was all up in there. Director Gates for sure was representing. Then you had the Kennedy Center, Simone
Mhm.
Eccleston, and of course Issa Rae.
Exactly.
It was huge. I was like, did y'all set that up? It was just 3 Black women
It's the
organizations.
trifecta. It's the trifecta.
Absolutely. But tell us a little bit more about the other initiatives and ways that people can tap into the great things that OCTFME has to offer.
Definitely. And it was great seeing you out. And Misha, you are to be honored. It's Women's History Month right now. And so shout out to you and all of your accomplishments. And the comment that I made earlier about bringing national artists that have a home base or have reference and ties to DC, Issa Rae is the perfect example. So to have that inaugural Hooray Festival here in Washington, D.C. was so important. It was so important from not only a film perspective, but it gave our filmmakers an opportunity to showcase their product. We did an event at the Kennedy Center where it was Short Film Sunday, Saturday edition, takeover over at the Kennedy Center. But that's the type of partnerships that are important that we will continue to do. I have to shout out our programming team. So we made history a few years ago when we launched DC Radio. Like we're the second full powered have the second full powered radio station in the country ran by a municipality. But we launched DCE, the District of Columbia Entertainment Network. And that's our streaming network that you can find on Roku, Apple TV, on the Amazon Fire Stick. That like all of that is key. And so now we can take our content. Not only do we have our 3 cable television networks, but we have that streaming platform. And this gives an opportunity to highlight our lifestyles and culture here in Washington, D.C. internationally. So now we have an even larger global audience with this digital platform. One of the things I definitely want to share as well, we developed what's called the Go-Go People's Plan. And $1 million was invested in the go-go culture. And it was important for us to strive to capture the history and that preservation. So we've spent $1 million investing in artists, investing in tours, investing in archival footage for the go-go community. And that's been very key and important because once again, all 8 wards can't contain us. So we make sure we take care of home first, but we push our culture and lifestyle out. So DCE and the Go-Go People's Plan and the investments that's been made there is key. And now you'll see film trucks and productions back in action. We recently did a project with Netflix. We had Rustin here not too long ago. So we're also doing White House Plumbers, which was something that we worked with HBO as well. So we are doing any and all things creative, but more importantly, by doing these activities, is bringing jobs to the district, and we're educating and training our own, which is very key to our success.
I think that's my favorite part is, just making sure that us Native Washingtonians are out here continuing to thrive and do and create and make sure our voices are heard and our stories are told. Yesterday, and y'all, again, you're seeing this stream a little bit later, but yesterday was the Oscars, and I was thinking how many people in that room have touched DC and probably even been in your studios at
Oh
some
yeah, I
point.
mean, we can just start with the host, with Regina.
Exactly.
Regina Hall, and Regina Hall was with us for Emancipation
Yes.
a couple of years or so ago. So that's a prime example to see a DC native on the forefront at the Oscars, who knows to bring it back home and celebrate it with us for Emancipation Day. That's a prime example in key.
Absolutely.
It really is. One of the things I wanted to mention too, because I think this is important. One of the first things you asked me was how was I doing, And one thing that we did, and it really took us going through the pandemic to start to think along these lines. We created a program, Care for Creatives, and that is a confidential, pay what you can counseling partnership with the George Washington University. So if all you have is a penny in your pocket, you can get certified counseling through this Care for the Creatives program. Also, Business Over Brand is another program that we developed, because what we saw during that process as creatives and artists, we're so focused on our brand, but we forget to focus on the business. So when it's time to get grants, when it's time to get loans, when it's time to get some of these key things that you need to jumpstart or restart your business, we noticed like getting back to the business and the basics was key. So I definitely want to highlight, and these are programs that we're going to continue, which is the Care for the Creatives, Business Over Brand, and of course our 202 Creates residency program. But I just wanted to give a full scope of some of these other services and resources that are available to our creative community.
Thank you for that. And again, I just want to shout out all of these things that you've been doing, because obviously it's for the people, and people have been able to tap in even on the virtual sphere and world that we have in. But I think 202 Creates was one of like the first events I was invited to when DC opened back up, the 202 Creates celebration, or was it 202 Creates month, I think.
Yes, so every September we have 202
Yes.
Creates month, and we spend 30 days focused on our creatives here. And 30 days is not enough, but that's just the month that we focus. And we also have the Mayor's Arts Awards as well during the month of September. So that was one of the first events where we were getting back out and doing it in a safe manner, of course, but 202 Creates. So that'll be coming up in a few months. And we also are going to be launching the Mayor's Arts Awards. The one thing that I love so much about the Mayor's Arts Awards, it is the people's choice, if you will. So now that platform is opened up for all the creatives. They have an opportunity to be nominated, voted on, and that's something that's been going on for over 36 years.
Absolutely. And again, I think it's just a great reminder of all of the amazing things happening in the district, and all of the amazing creatives out here doing the thing and helping us have joy and think about things that are in front of us in such a great way. And so, just kudos to OCTFME and the mayor's push and emphasis on the arts. And thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you. I just want to once again congratulate you as you continue to maneuver and transition through your career. I want to thank the creatives of Washington, D.C., because if it wasn't for the creatives of Washington, D.C., I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So shout out to our creatives. Of course, shout out to my OCTFME family. They hold us down each and every day. And Tamir Bowser and the AFRO, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the AFRO for giving us a platform and always being community focused. That is so appreciated, and the AFRO is so valued. So we thank you. We thank you.
Well, we thank you so much, and I cannot wait until April 16th. Afro family, I know y'all are going to be out there, so make sure you tag, is it Entertain DC on social media, so you can let everybody know that you're out there, and make sure you say hello to me, because I love Afro family out there. I love our viewers, and I want to know that you came out in support of such an important day to not only DC history and Black history, but really America's history. And just kudos again to OCTF and me for you all continuing this important legacy of DC's Emancipation Day and all the work that you do for DC's creative scene.
Thank you so much. Well, you know how we do. We're going to get it in the 202.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
So much, Director Gates.
Thank
I appreciate you for everything, and I will talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Oh,
See you soon.
care.
Bye. Bye.